Actually,
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. To the flag of the state of America, and to the republic of friendship among the cultures. Well, maybe you see it. All right, open comment. Floor is open for public comment. So we have a lot of people here. Does that have anybody that would like to speak?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
What up?
okay, if you would, that's probably right there by Manny would be the best. Okay.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So I'm here on behalf of the Otero County Roadrunners, it's a semi-pro football team.
Okay.
We're just here, to give y'all a proposition to use the high school field here. It consists of 5 home games and possibly 2 playoff games and a championship game. We're offering $1,250 to use the field, the locker rooms, also the restrooms and the concession stand. We would also like to inform y'all, we'll clean up after all the games. And we would also like to host all-purpose sports and agility camp for the kids after the season's complete. Our league that we're in has a 0 tolerance policy. We also have 4 officers on the team. So if there's anything that gets out of hand on the field, like there's a no tolerance policy, so we're regulating that. Let's see what else they want me to say. It's an adult-based organization, but there's also gonna be a youth football team that travels around. So just a good opportunity, you know, to get the kids involved. There's not a lot of stuff to do around Tularosa, so we would like to use this field because it's a great community and just get people out there, go watch some football games, have a good time. That's the proposition that we have, it's just that we can pay y'all to use the field, the restrooms, the locker rooms, and the concession stand.
Okay.
Um. That's all we have right here.
I've had a few phone calls on that and I don't know the gentleman's name I talked with, but,
His name's Gregory Hollinger.
okay, that
Yes, sir.
sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And then also we're willing to pay for what they tell me. They said we're willing to pay half of the cash up front to use the field and the rest at the end of the season. And then when the playoff games start, if we need to use the field, that's for the additional $350 for each game. We pay for the refs, we pay for the chain gang, any other concerns, like if someone gets hurt, the ambulance is on us. We have waivers that we sign so that we don't sue anybody. If we are injured, we're paying at our own expense. Also, we're not the NFL, we pay for our uniforms, all of our equipment, all our traveling is on us. All we're asking is to use this field.
What's the length of your season?
It's from February into. Should be February to May. So there's five, the first game would be February 22nd at home. March 29th, April 12th, April 26th, and May 3rd would all be the home games. And then if we can't use the field for the playoffs or anything, we could find another option for that. But it should be from February into May. Yes, sir.
You can put in discussion.
Yeah. Next meeting, we'll add it, Amanda will add it for discussion. I'm gonna tell you straight up, I have some real concerns with that because I went and watched one of the games in Cloudcroft and it was not something I wanted our school. There was a lot of cussing and the smoking on the sidelines and it was totally out of control and we're pretty proud of our football field. Mr. Signs there, they work really hard on keeping it groomed and stuff and I wasn't impressed, so.
Yes, sir.
So at the next meeting, if you guys wanna, I'd put a presentation together because the smoking, the cussing, the almost fighting out there, it was. It's not something I wanna be, I want it my school, but that would be a board decision, so I just wanna be straight up honest with that. I was totally unimpressed with what I seen in Cloudcroft.
Yes, sir, that's understandable, and all that was taken into consideration, and that's where that no tolerance policy comes into play. And we've talked to the other teams that are in the league and all that, and they really crack down on all that, like, if there's any violence or anything like that, we have, like we said, the players on our team that are officers to regulate that. And if there's anything that gets out of hand that you don't like, y'all are more than welcome to say, nope, like, we lose it, pull the contract, and whatever money we have paid you to use the field, that's your guys' to keep, but that's where that no tolerance for all that and the violence needs to be more regulated. So they looked at that situation,
Yeah.
and it does get,
It was ugly.
yes, sir, it does get ugly.
It's
Yes, sir.
embarrassing,
And that's,
so I just want that up front, because that's what I'm gonna tell the board is what I seen that day.
yes, sir, that's understandable, but that's why we're here to propose this, but whatever decision the board comes to make, we totally understand. We're just asking for an opportunity to look at what we've presented to y'all.
I want to thank you for coming.
Yes, sir.
Really really appreciate you showing up.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Anyone else?
Hi, guys. So I'm here to talk about the changes that are going on in the preschool. My daughter's head teacher already's been moved and now her other teacher's being moved and EA is supposed to be her head teacher and she's not even a certified teacher.
Well, I can't talk about all personnel issues
Mhm.
but we have made some movement there, but not to my knowledge, and I got Ms. McCoy here to help me on this, not at the detriment of students. We had a teacher asked to be moved and we did that.
Who has to be? moved?
Yes, ma'am, you may.
Since he's
Yes,
a person,
Yeah.
I would recommend that these be
We're gonna have to go
scheduled
behind
private
closed doors, yeah.
with you, individually.
We can't discuss personnel issues in front of the public.
Okay, so, well, it's for the children, you know? And I mean, I'm gonna put it out there. I'm going for my early childhood degree and I did ask to get moved. And yes, it was agreement. We said, okay, they're gonna move me. And then, not realizing that I get a scholarship from the pre-K program. So I asked Monica and I talked to Monica and she said she's like, oh, well, I don't want it to hurt you. So maybe we could get that changed and within the decision, I could talk to Shelley. Well, Shelley came in and she talked to me today and she said that there was already an individual hired and that I wasn't able to, stay there. But I just,
We're right in the middle of a personnel issue, and I don't believe this is the proper forum for that. If you want to come in and visit with us tomorrow, that would have been the proper procedure to begin with.
well, it's effective immediately. So I'm moving tomorrow and the parents weren't notified. That's the thing. That's why the parents are here because I notified them. I told them that I'm not gonna be the teacher anymore. I'm not gonna be the EA teacher and then because of course the parents need to know. It should have been done by Monica or somebody at the school should have notified the parents because then the kids are gonna walk in and
When did you know that you were gonna be moved?
today.
When did you put in for to be moved? December?
No, it
before
wasn't
Christmas?
December. It was January. It was the beginning of this month. So it was like, it happened quick like that. It was like, hey, quick. And when I realized after, cause the snow days, I realized that I get a scholarship, like I totally spaced it, that I'm getting a scholarship for early childhood and I'm going for early childhood. That's my degree I'm gonna be getting in this spring is early childhood. And I realized that I need to be teaching in pre-K in order to get that scholarship. So that's why I talked to Monica and then I talked to Shelley, but they were like, well, sorry, we can't do it. There's nothing we can do. And she did tell me that the district, she can talk to the district and see what they can do, but it won't be until this coming year. But that's totally like, there's nothing I can do. I lose out on my scholarship. And so my other option is quit my job and go work in Mescalero. But my heart is here for the kids. The kids are, I love working with that age. And I love the kids. And they all grew a relationship with me. And when I told them today that I wasn't gonna be their teacher anymore, they were all hurt. They were sad. Like our kids is what should matter. Our kids should be coming first. Nothing is coming here to tell you how I feel. But I would go work for my people and that's probably what it makes me do. Sorry.
They should have come to see me first before coming to the room.
So I already talked to Shelley and Shelley didn't tell me that.
We've discussed this. I mean, I'm not blind to what's going on at all.
And then not only
Exactly.
that, like the EA that's in there, she's not even going for early childhood and she expressed that with me. She told me she's not.
I'm not gonna
It-
speak any more personnel issues.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, it's only fair on my behalf that I get to speak how I feel, and that's how I feel. And I feel like the school board needs to know, and if I have to leave, I will. I will not come back and work here, because I've been done really wrong. I mean, my education and my scholarships is what, in order for me to get my degree. And I'm sorry I had to come to this. But I'm here for the kids, and I'm just letting you guys all know. And I don't know I mean, if you can't do anything for me, that's fine, but I will definitely, I have to be in order to get my scholarship, I have to work with the littles, and that's what I'll do. I'll just have to leave my job.
Proper procedure would have come to see me first, and
Well-
if you wouldn't have got satisfied, then you would have wrote a letter to the board. Because when it comes to personnel issues, that's 100% on my back.
Well, see, I didn't know that.
Well,
I'm
there's
new, this is
policies
my
and
first year
procedures that-
working in the district. I don't
I didn't know that I had to go to you. I thought talking to her because
Well,
he's under you, I figured
Well,
she would express these with you and you would have known the situation today that I was moved tomorrow. But you didn't know that when I'm telling you now, you're like, oh, you're moving tomorrow? Like
well,
you
no,
were,
I knew you were moving tomorrow. I asked when you got your letter, when you put
I,
in your.
yeah, and I put that in
referral.
last week. Because,
You have to understand, when we hired somebody else, we gave them a contract, what do we do there? I mean, you put the district in,
but, you know, and I was hired for early childhood.
you asked to be moved,
I did, but then after I came back and,
and you were granted your wish, and then we hired somebody else. And that's all I wanna say in front of everybody. That's what happened here.
and that's exactly what happened, but what I'm saying is, I did come back and ask her. And I talked to Monica, Monica said that she
I
would,
believe that's exactly what Shelley told you, Miss Montoya told you that also,
she told me what,
but I just repeated.
that I'm getting moved, yes. But you guys
That
didn't,
you asked to be moved.
but I went back and asked,
I'm not gonna argue this, we're done here. If you want, you might, I'm in
Okay.
my office at 7 in the morning.
Anyone else?
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board, we'll start with Ms. Lochner.
So we just finished iStation testing this week. We always have a little bit of a drop after Christmas break, but this one we went from 67 to 65 in reading and 49 or 47 to 49 in math, which is actually a little bit of a bump in math, a little tiny drop in reading, but our teachers all sent home packets and books and had kids do all this fun stuff over the break to kind of help them stay where they were and not lose ground over the break. We're currently completing STAR Early Lit, STAR Math, the STAR Reading CBM assessments, and we hope to be finished by the end of this week, maybe early next week, just because of the snow days and everything we've had. So far, the data is a little mixed, but it's mostly aligned to what we're seeing from iStation. And then the couple of kids who did a little bit worse, we're thinking it's because they weren't familiar with the assessment yet, so as they practice, they'll get better and better with that. Our PBIS program is going well and our house system is going well. We worked in houses to do a fundraiser in December. We raffled the basket off and earned over $2,500 for our school. And so Amistad is the house that won that. They'll have a pizza party on Friday and they got some prizes. And then students are voting on Friday what club they want to be part of. So we do clubs on Fridays. We have gardening clubs, robotics, all this fun stuff. And so they've even floated like a theater club, karaoke club, lots of fun things for when we come back. So they'll vote on that Friday and we'll start the following week. And it's just fun to give our kids lots of different enrichment opportunities. Like we like to push the academics, but enrichment is really important as well. And then attendance, we're currently at 93.2%. So we're up from 92.7 last year and holding steady from last month, even with all the sicknesses and everything over the winter. And then we've been recognized as an ESEA Distinguished School. We kind of brought that up last time, but the site is now live. So I put a little link on our sheet and you can look and see all the pictures of our staff and our students and all the wonderful things that happen at TES. And that's all for TES.
Well, thank you, Ms. Lochner. Mr. Burke's not here, so we will go with Ms. Monica.
hello. So we started a new academic schedule this semester. We felt that we really needed to incorporate interventions into our schedule. And we're really excited. The teachers have been working on STAR testing for reading and math. They have been collaborating this week during that intervention time. The 3rd and 4th grade are working together, looking at test scores, talking about the students, and really just looking at what the kids need. And so we're not starting next week because we have some teachers going to Atlanta for the RCA, what is it called? House Mania. So we'll be short 5 teachers. So we're gonna roll it out the following week. And so every day, students will be getting an hour of intervention for reading and math. And it's gonna be targeting the skills they need. And so we're super excited about the collaboration that the teachers are doing together and just really focusing on what the kids need. So we're really excited that that's gonna help with our reading and math scores. So in this schedule change, was changed to 2 lunches. because we were struggling with the 3 lunches. It was just a lot of work for our cafeteria staff and our EAs with scheduling. So we have 1 lunch that has 3rd grade and 2 5th grade classes, and then our second lunch has 4th grade and 2 5th grade classes. It's a little struggle there. That first couple of days we had our 5th grade classes were like, oh, we don't see our friends, we're split up. But I reminded them that we are a big family there. We do house lunches together on Fridays. We're split up. You know, we're broken up into houses. So we are building those relationships all the time. And so I think they're getting better about being mixed up. And so I'm enjoying that with the kids. We also moved, we have Mr. Vasquez, who is coming in and joined our specials team, and he's teaching Spanish to all our 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders as one of their special rotations. And so far, our kids are loving it. I had one of our students today tell me, I learned something in Spanish. I'm like, what'd you learn? And she's like, I learned adios. So I'm like, well, what does that mean? And she's like, goodbye. I'm like, ah. So I am really excited about what they're learning. Just in the few days they've had him. Our special education teachers were housed in the hallway where we have pre-K. And so we talked about what was best practice for our students. And they agreed and moved down into, I know you know TIS. We've got the 3rd and 4th grade hallways. So 3rd grade, our special education teacher moved down in the 3rd grade hall, and Mr. Rodriguez moved down into the 4th grade hall. So now I feel like we're all together, kind of one big family. They can collaborate, work more with their teachers, and the students are all together. And so they're not walking so far down the hall. So I feel like we're all just united there. And I think it's going to be really great for our kids. Mr. Lindsay, you're going to love this. I cleared out Mr. Rodriguez's room, and that is now our classroom for physics in a box.
Oh, awesome.
We got the table set up. I moved all the physics in a box in there today. The teachers will be signing up for the day and the time they want to come in, and that room is designated for physics in a box. So they'll have their own space, and the teachers are super excited to start doing that. So our first teachers are starting on Monday. Rotated in there, and I told the janitors that door needs to be locked. Those are very expensive, so no one's gonna be wandering in and out of there, so they have their own home, and I'm excited to see that launch here pretty soon next week. We have Mrs. Solis, who has returned to provide reading and tutoring to our students throughout the day. She does an amazing job. She's pulling kids all day long for reading instruction.
She has 10 groups.
And she's doing 10 groups for 30 minutes all day long. So she is an amazing asset to our school. So we're so excited to have her. The after school tutoring for reading started on Monday. We have 13 students that are attending after school. Next Monday, we are starting the lemonade after school program, the lemonade stand that Todd sent Irma to me, and she proposed it. And I had the staff all on board, and they are going to, so the students are going to learn how to build their own lemonade stand for marketing, entrepreneurship, learning how to build their own product, market it. I mean, for everything from the ground up. They're working on this for 15 weeks. And in May, they will actually go to market and be able to sell their lemonade and do all of that. And any profit they make from their lemonade stand, the students get to keep. So super excited. If we keep the program in the fall, and they will not be tied to lemonade. The students can come up with any product they want to create and sell and market. And so it's just like a great program for the kids. So thank you, Todd, for sending that to me. I'm so excited that the teachers are on board to do it. And the kids, we had a great, like over 30 kids that signed up for it. So I'm really excited about that as well. We are having our first pre-K roundup, early registration for the 25-26 school year on Friday. And so we're excited about that, trying to get a jump on our early registration. And then we have an amazing cafeteria staff at TIS. They are very involved with the kids. They come out after they serve and talk to the kids on Fridays with our Wildcat Pride Academy. We do our house lunches together. They come out and engage and dance with the kids. And so they have been wanting to do, give a cookie to the students when it's their birthday. And so they've been working with Jesse and finally got it approved. So they picked up our list of student birthdays. So on the day that a student has a birthday, they're gonna get a cookie on their tray. So just a little something, but I just really feel like our cafeteria staff is really trying to engage and build relationships with our students, and they're so vital to our everyday. They cook for us, and they make amazing lunches. So I'm just so blessed that they're willing to step out and do something extra for our students. That can be a lot of work. They're willing to do it. So we have some new staff in our building started in January. I'm just really excited. I feel like they brought a new positive climate and culture to our building that we're really trying to build. And I feel like that new staff is just adding to that, and I'm just super excited to have them join us. We also have, and I want to pass these out, I want to invite you, we have our gifted program that is going to be working with Amia Walker. She is one of our gifted students at TIS. She's amazing, but she came up with this activity she wanted to do, and it's called Empty Bowls. She actually is working on this all by herself with Mr. Reber. She is going to be making, are they porcelain?
They made ceramic bowls.
Ceramic bowls. She has some students that she had volunteers. She got some of her classmates. They're making ceramic bowls at the school during her time. And then they're going to have soup donated. And then all the proceeds are going to be donated to a local food bank. And so that was one of the projects she wanted to do. And so we are going to be doing that on Friday, January 24th. So I'm going to pass these out to you guys if you want to come and support her and her great idea. And it's for the gifted program here in Tularosa. So we have that going on. And let's see. We have a lot of good things going on. I know I talked a lot, sorry. And then we are at our last thing we're doing with pre-K is we're really wanting to transition our pre-K lunches into one of the classrooms in their pre-K hallway to make it their own, make it family style dining, which is the best practice for pre-K students. It will allow them to practice table manners and have some communication. I think it's just going to be a better environment and setting for them, which is like pre-K standard in the state. I've looked it up, I've read about it, I've talked to people that I know that do pre-K. And so I'm really excited. We have a room cleared out. Trying to get them some tables that are going to be more pre-K size and just make the room a little cute little cafeteria for them. So we're working to that transition take us some time, but just doing all we can to make that a nice little setting for our pre-K students. So, is that okay with everybody? Little flyers? And that's all we have at TIS.
Yes, Neil, go next.
So at the high school, we are in the swing of schedule changes. We give students 2 days, but then we of course went out for the snow days. And so Terry Coleman just finished those up. The biggest push this week is CTE, because right now Coach Castagnone and I and Mr. Montez spent the last 3 days on Zoom meetings doing Perkins, Next Gen, Innovation, and then so much more that's being offered out there. Innovation Zones asked Tularosa High School to present to the state next Tuesday on our work-based learning, because they feel like we're doing such a good job. And I just don't I feel like it's just always crazy. But it is good that people are recognizing us. So moving money around, we are up to about 25 student workers that they don't just work in our school, they also work with community partners. Today, Coach Castagnone and I talked about we're going to actually reach out to the Muscular Tribe, because we want to do a it's called Summer Enrichment Internship Program. And basically, we just start putting youth into a 4-week program, especially with our tribe, because they have so much to offer, especially with the hatchery and conservation officers. We decided that we're going to survey our students on the pathways that they like. The national CTE framework is changing, and it's going to be a gradual process. And we had such a well-structured CTE pathway from Ms. Shara Montoya. But it's going to tweak a little bit and make sure that we're offering pathways that the students want to be able to take. Shara, I actually reached out to her And she got me in touch with Hatch this week because Hatch does Educators Rising program. And they actually teach students to be teachers. So they're basically growing their own teachers at their high school. So Hatch got with Shara and I, and they have the entire curriculum built through the Canvas that teachers already use for their evaluation system. So basically a teacher could teach students to be teachers. So super cool program. So we're looking into that. We are currently looking for a science teacher at the high school. I had some good prospects, but of course, mid-year, it's very, very hard to find teachers. And so we have Miss Dina Silva, she's long-term subbing in, the physical science class. And so she is just doing physics in a box. So Mr. Miyoshi and Miss Danita Heights are helping her, every single day, and it's hands-on. The kids are super engaged in it. So far, so good. A lot of little parts to it and stuff, so that's a whole process, is teaching kids to put those boxes back together as well. So we did get everything ordered for our student run store today. That is, gonna be coming in. That's being ran by, Ms. Samantha Chavez and Deanna Bartram. And it's School Board Appreciation Month, so I appreciate everything you guys do. The staff at the high school appreciate, the Christmas gifts that they got. So thank you, district office, and thank you, school board, for doing that. Just those little things go so far with teachers. So do you guys have any questions for the high school portion? Sports wise, Coach Castagnone has, managed to reschedule all the games with the craziness. So, even today, he was hitting us with emails on middle school games and high school games. Tonight, he is actually working the girls' makeup game for Alamogordo, and Coach Coates is at the football banquet that's being held tonight too. So lots going on at the high school. You guys are always welcome to come in, check it out, go and have coffee with us. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Mr. Science, if you would, I'd like to introduce Sean, Miss Edwards. Okay. We acquired, I guess, or we're very blessed, actually. Sean Edwards comes from us from Alamogordo. Her family ran the Alamogordo Bus Company for years. Her parents did, and then her and her brother kind of inherited it after that, up until the time of their demise. But now her brother works in Santa Fe, and she comes from the way of Santa Fe, because she was actually driving up there in Santa Fe, and she started driving for Mr. Blazer about a month or two ago. She has SBDI training, which is very beneficial to us because we were hiring that out. For those of you that don't know what SBDI is, it's school bus driver endorsements. And the state is making it mandatory that all our teachers and or coaches have to have this SBDI instruction to be able to drive kids, even in a Suburban or a car or whatever. And we were having to pay for that. But luckily and fortunately, Miss Edwards is capable of doing that. So we can actually do an in-house training. Right now, she's we're calling her a transportation coordinator, but I think quickly, probably within the year or so, she's gonna be called the transportation director. I'll still be over her for a period of time, but I think that she's hit the ground running, and right now we're looking at different things. I wanna kind of automate the school bus routes. What I wanna do is I wanna be able to, and she's working on that right now to figure out the best thing for us to do. And Mr. Bruce Wallace is also helping us on that, but by August, what I want to do is I want to put an iPad in each bus. And if I so choose that I want Miss Lochner to drive bus 6, she can punch up in that iPad exactly where bus 6 goes, even though she's never driven bus 6. She knows how to turn, where to go, and the route that goes. There's no guessing. We don't have to explain it to her. She just knows how to pick it up. So that's something that we're working on, or that we're trying to get going on by August. We are probably going to change up some routes. We're probably going to simplify the routes. Probably going to have to send some notes out to the parents, but we're going to go to designated spots. We're no longer going to go door to door as we were. We're going to try to simplify it. And if I have 5 houses on a block, we're just going to go in the middle. And the The other houses are just gonna have to come to that area just to pick up the kids. I think it'll be quicker. It'll make the routes run quicker. I think it'll make us more efficient. So there's a lot of stuff that's coming, and the reason that we acquired Miss Edwards is because, as you well know, Mr. Blazer's retiring. And if you think about it, I was trying to get a deal between his dad, and maybe Miss Naomi can help me. We were contemplating, or I was thinking about, they've had the buses in the Blazer Bus Company for over 60 years. That's quite a run. And I think Kenny has had them for a little over 40, somewhere around 40 years, plus or minus. So that's quite a run to take care of the Tularosa schools. And I think they've done a great job. I think they've done a good job, but you know, just all things, I mean, yeah, all things have to move forward, and as we're taking them over, that was the reason that we hired Miss Edwards. She's very capable. She's very knowledgeable. I'm really excited to work with her because I'm actually learning some things. So, but anyway, she just started with us on Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Welcome aboard, Ms. Edwards. We also have Mr. Rayburn here today. Trevor Rayburn is a Region 9 employee, but he is our gifted teacher. We've been looking for, how long has it been? 2 years we've been trying to get gifted? 3 years? And we finally got him, and we're glad he's here, and he's done an outstanding job. And so this is Mr. Trevor Rayburn.
All right, well, I appreciate the warm introduction and members of the board. I've got something that I hope is quick to share with you. It's just wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction to myself and to talk a little bit about the program, about some things that you need to be expecting from us in the upcoming month, because there's going to be some things that we're going to need you guys to review and approve. Let's see if I
You have your own mouse in your pocket, you know you're prepared.
I'll lose it if I don't put it right. So, in July of 2023, I think you guys probably know the PED issued a change in the administrative code and for gifted and talented students. That happened a couple of years ago. And as a result of that, the code included a lot of requirements for LEAs. In order to help fulfill those requirements, the Tularosa School District contracted with Region 9 to provide those services. One of the things that you contracted for was a gifted coordinator. I'm called a gifted teacher from them, but literally I'm coordinating all the services here in the district. And so as a gifted coordinator, my responsibilities are to establish and implement the district program plan, which is something that I'm going to need you guys to look at. Mr. Lindsay has told me that he would like you guys to review that as we start to, as we move forward. To coordinate the gifted identification referral process, to get kids into the program, to provide appropriate academic and transition services for students in the gifted program, to collaborate with classroom teachers, to support appropriate differentiation and based on academic and socio-emotional needs, and then to facilitate the school's communication with families about the gifted program. So that's kind of what you should expect from me. My main reason that I wanted to come here before you today was to provide that introduction, to talk about what's been keeping me busy, and then also where we're headed. And so I have some notes here on this, and I apologize, like I'm much more comfortable kind of reading portions of it, but I want to make sure that I get the information to you that I plan to. These services, so I provide services. These services include a provision of direct services to students, which I generally deliver by teaching students lessons individually or in small groups. So with each of the schools, I meet with kids either on an individual basis through a pull-out program or in small groups through a pull-out program. I write gifted individualized education plans for the students when they're coming into the program, and then on an annual basis to make sure that they're updated and they're meeting the needs of the students. I help to determine student eligibility for program services. We'll be conducting a third grade universal screening. So we are required as a district to make sure that every student is tested in a way that would allow them to move into the gifted program. And so we have something called universal screening, and that'll be happening here in February. Development of the district's gifted program plan, which is submitted to the State Department of Education, and then a number of other things related to ensuring the success of the gifted program. So to start this year, really my focus was on working with students. That's immediately what I wanted to do, is to start getting them some lessons and working with them individually. During the fall semester, I also wrote a bunch of IEPs and had a number of IEP meetings, which are involved in making sure those educational plans are up to date. So in working with students, things that we've been doing this fall in the fall included, like, I had some students wiring electrical circuits, making electric cars, programming robots, writing lesson plans. So Ms. Hill mentioned Educator Rising, and I actually have a student who's would like to become a part of that program, but she's already writing a lesson plan that she wants to deliver in a third grade classroom. And so that's something that we're working together on at the high school. Planning service learning projects like the Empty Bowls project that you have there before you, and solving logic problems, and then some elementary school students are developing superheroes. They're like working on programs that are doing that. In the spring, I will continue to provide the services that I just mentioned, but I'm also going to be working on the gifted program plan. And that program plan actually is pretty much finalized. It's something that I'm going to be sending to you guys for review. I'd like to be able to present it to you, like in a little bit more detail in February, and then it's due in March. So there's going to be a board approval. It's not really a policy, it's just a program plan, but that way we will be ready if we needed approval in March. We could do that and then get it submitted to the state in a timely manner. So that's something that I'm going to be something for you guys to be looking forward to, something I'll be sending to you guys here in the next couple of weeks or within the week. And if you have questions or concerns, or you think there might need to be revisions, these are discussions that we can have. We're going to have a gifted advisory committee meeting next week. It'll be the first one for the year, but that's one of the things I'm going to also give the plan to them. That'll consist of teachers and parents and potentially students. And so I think that gets to the heart of what I wanted to do tonight and what I wanted to provide you with. I had one more slide, just kind of some of the things kids are working on. Right now, we have 18 students in the program, which is not very many. We're underrepresented. It's one of the reasons that they changed that administrative code, because lots of districts in the state are underrepresented. There are kids who are not necessarily having their needs met, and the state wants to make sure that those needs are met. Especially after COVID, we really focused on learning loss, but we have kids who are they're still thriving, and we want to make sure we're meeting their needs too. Yeah, sure. And challenging them in ways that, and so these are some of the kids in the program, some of the things that they're doing. And then this is some information about the plan. But like I said, I'll be getting that to you within the week. It's in draft form still, but I think it's ready for you guys to start reviewing.
If you'll get it to Amanda, she can email it to the board, then we can put you on the board agenda for February for discussion.
Yeah.
When we come back in March, we can.
That'd be great. That'd be great. And the gifted advisory committee, I'm sure, is gonna have some things to say about it, and we'll be back and forth a little bit. But it's just, we'd love to have you guys right in the middle of getting that thing.
We're really glad you're here.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you. Is anybody out there? I think not. Ready for business. Consideration of addendum. Yeah, Mr. President, members of the board, I'm recommending approval and consideration of addendum.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consideration of minutes, regular board meeting, December 11th, 2024.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board, I'm recommending approval of the minutes for December 11, 2024 as a regular board meeting.
All in favor? Right, consideration of check register for December 2024.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board, I'm recommending approval of the check register for December 2024. We do have Mr. Bregler present. If you have any questions on your checks.
Have anything this one, do you?
No, I was just wanting to know how many maintenance workers we have. Maintenance workers.
How many maintenance workers? Are you talking about just Andy's crew or are you talking about custodial staff and?
That's what we were trying to figure, I was trying to figure out because there was 18 boots ordered.
Uh-huh.
And so I just wanted to figure out how many staff. and-
custodial and maintenance.
Yeah, that's.
Yes. Okay, well, that showed it there.
It showed.
Yeah, like by,
Yes.
It showed custodian and it showed me.
I mean, it's separated.
It's separated, yeah.
Okay,
When you
I
look
didn't see
through
that
it.
one, so-
We have 13 custodians that we buy safety shoes for, and then as well as 5 maintenance staff that we buy shoes for. So that-
If you look on it, it shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they're broke down. I think we separated them at first school.
Okay,
I didn't go through it again.
that's good.
You don't want the same thing, I didn't realize we had that many.
I was like one.
It's a lot of grounds
If you
to
go
cover.
back, you can-
Yeah, we have a lot of grass.
That's it.
All in favor?
Uh,
Discussion and cut all trees around the administration building.
Mr. President, member of the board, I'm not gonna make any recommendation until we have where you guys have the chance to discuss it. We do have a proposal, Mr. Science is here, he went out and got 3 proposals to prune the trees out front. Mr. Regler's here also, he figured out the budget. If the proposal we looked at was 80, the cheapest one was 80,000.
No.
Cheapest
was 40. We had,
52, I'm thinking of
50.
West Wash.
No, we had 4 proposals. They ranged all the way from 120,000 all the way down to, I think, LBE Enterprises, which was, I think that one was 52,000. And that's the cut down. I believe there's 25 trees and they go along the ditch line right here by Duran Lane, goes behind the art room, and then to trim these trees in the front. We've been very fortunate over this past year. I'm talking some big trees have fallen. That one tree fell and it's probably, I don't know, about 14 or 18 inches in diameter, and it fell on our side. It didn't hit nothing. But last year, there was a tree that fell and got a Suburban in the back. And our insurance, I think we even had the insurance adjuster out here, because I had him come out here to see whose liability it was. The Secchia Corporation says that they own 5 feet on either side of the ditch. But when we told them about the tree, they said, nope, that's not ours. So in the meantime, just to keep neighborly, and Mr. Lindsay was very nice. Ended up costing us almost $2,000 to repair that Suburban that tree fell on. And all it was just to keep neighbors and just to be a good neighbor or a good, but we have several other trees. These trees are probably 60, 70, 80 years old. I don't know how old they are, but the trees that are falling, they have holes in them like this big. And I don't think we can cut a Chinese elm and kill it. So all I'm asking to do is just to trim the tops of them off, keep them about 20 feet tall, but keep them a little bit more manageable. Some of those trees are up there about 70 feet. And we're just trying to keep it more manageable, especially right here. We got a lot of cars that park on this road and the winds come and if it's windy, I don't think anybody from Central Office parks over here in the front because they're scared those branches will fall. Because we've seen big branches fall, and we want to address them all, whether we address partial or we address them all at one whack. I think that one price of 52,000 is very fair, considering the other ones were 90, and I think there was even one for 120. So, and that particular one that was 52,000, we have all his insurance. documentation, we have his insurance, his license, we have everything. And we're ready to move forward with it. It's just a matter of you guys saying, yes, we can, or no, we can't, but I think we're gonna have to address those trees sooner or later because it's gonna be a liability.
We have to do it.
And there's a couple of trees behind Mr. Cole building in the back.
Yeah, we're talking all the way down to the art room.
Totally out.
We already took one out. When we built that ditch, because we were losing that building. We actually had to take one out. I don't know if you guys know this gentleman, but his name was Tony Gonzalez. And he did the concrete work to make that ditch in there, because we were losing that building.
Right.
And that was when we first got here. That was about 15, 18, well, never mind, that was a long time ago. But anyway, we had to get a bulldozer to pull that tree out, because that tree was probably about 35 to 4 foot in diameter. And they had to get a dozer to pull that tree out or get the stump out so they could make the ditch go that way, because it was taking out that Boy Scout hut. And that's why we put that cement and the deal back there, because that ditch was eroding that building away.
Yeah, it's like there in the back's a little sketchy sometimes, for a lot of those old trees, but yeah, something's gotta be.
And Mr. Regler's here for financing purposes. Mr. Regler says we have the money to
We do.
do all of it, or
We could do all of it
partial of
if
it.
you wanna get it all done this year. Or we can split it between the 2 years.
You would want to get it done. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking 80, so I scared him before you got.
I mean, it's 25-ish trees.
There's approximately 25 trees, right?
That's not.
And if you don't wanna do them all, I recommend that we go through and let me choose, or let the guy that's gonna do the trees choose the most dangerous ones. Because I don't know, if one of those fall on the house, I guarantee it's gonna be more than $52,000.
Yeah.
There's somebody walking by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mr. President, members of the board, I'm recommending approval for the cutting of the trees all at one time, by the way.
Naomi,
I'll second.
Cisco. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Discussion. Bars. Right.
Okay, cafeteria, everything's still going good, the Aviance or K-12 by Elier, whichever is their name, they still wanna come out, and talk to you guys and do a presentation, so we're trying to work it out maybe for next month. Of course, I guess we might change that date, so I have to still make sure that works. But everything's going good. I believe Jesse was telling me today that he should have that slushy machine up and running pretty soon. I think he's gonna get a table for it at the high school.
Margarita machine.
Not the margarita machine.
That's what we call it.
But everything's going good there. As far as the board report, all the funds are looking good. We're getting to that time of the year where we're gonna start getting some final awards on grants, like we got $1,600 additional in Carl Perkins, and those should start rolling in now, the different Title I, Title II, all those grants. Usually we get like a final award / carryover money anytime between like now and April. It just depends how quick PED does it. But that's all looking good. The bars this time, had one in the bond fund. That's just, I had to put it into the budget, the revenue we got when we had that recent sale of the bonds. So I had to put that in the budget. And then all the operational ones were just different revenue funds where we've gotten in more revenue than what was budgeted in that particular object code. So that's what all those increases were, just trying to get everything in line. Cause we're coming up to the end of the year already pretty soon, and I have to have everything, lined out where I have, if we have revenue in a certain line, I have to make sure I have it budgeted in the budget. That's really all I have, unless there were any questions on the board report or the bars. Or even cafeteria.
Those.
Okay.
On the discussion to set the date for the superintendent's evaluation.
30 minutes?
Can I just inject this? We still haven't got the tribe to sign off on our Indian policies and procedures, and we have to have it done by the end of the month. So like last year, we had to have a special session. it may be a time that may be a good time to do this. All
At the same time.
at the same time.
That was gonna be my question. I've been trying to follow up on that already.
Yeah.
And I have another individual looking into it, so we're trying to get it done.
Okay, yeah, we gotta have it by the end of the month.
March, April-ish, right?
Exactly, we had to have a special session last year.
We're gonna get.
And they give that up on Saturday, so.
But that may be a good time to set up my evaluation.
Kill two birds at the same time.
The application is due January 31st.
January
So I
31st.
would like to try to shoot for a date prior to January 29th for a special meeting.
And that may not be enough time for my evaluation. That's just something I put out there.
The 30.
Yeah.
That's pretty quick.
I'll make some more calls tomorrow.
I talked to Vice President Duffy. And I resent everything again to him. He did acknowledge receipt of it yesterday and he's hoping to get it to me. That's all I got.
Okay, I think they're in training all this week. But I'll see if I can get a hold of one of them.
We need that for the 17th.
Yeah.
The 29th is a Wednesday, but
You may want to just save mine till February and then get this
we may
done.
have to.
But we need the 72 hours advance to. You know, it's just to email you when we get that signed or we know what happens, we can set up a special session.
Yes.
Are you, is there school on President's Day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
No, you mean Martin Luther King Day? Is that the 20th?
Tuesday?
That's Monday.
The 20th. We do have.
Yeah, it's Martin Luther King Day.
Okay, yes, we have.
Yeah, we do have school on the 20th. On President's Day, I don't
But
know
we
what day
don't
that
in
is.
February.
Is that President's Day?
That's President's Day.
So we don't have
What day?
school on President's Day, but we do Martin Luther King Day in
Okay.
January.
On the, I'm sorry.
No, I was just checking to see when I could.
Yeah,
have
17th.
the get over here.
Yeah, I mean, email us. We get that sense of the date.
Well, yeah, we gotta have that.
I'll make some calls. to you.
And we'll just save for your evaluation. Yes, sir. Discussion of bill the bus wash station.
Mr. Science is here again for this. We're taking over the buses. We're trying to get prepared, trying to get our director in place, trying to get.
I've been kind of escaping to Alamogordo and kind of hanging out in their bus yard over there just to figure out how they do things, because I kind of want to learn a little bit and figure out how they do it, and I've been talking to the people. Anyway, they have a bus wash station, which I think is excellent, and if you ever look at Alamogordo's buses right now, they are sharp, they're clean, they're washed. I think it's a safety deal. I think they're constantly, I watch them. I sit there for an hour watching them when they come off their routes. They get ladders, they get on the buses, they wash the windows, they wash the windshield, they wash the side of the windows, they wash the back. If the bus gets too dirty, they actually run it through the bus wash. They actually have a full-blown, it's like 45 feet long. It's got a power washer in there. It's a totally enclosed with a roof. They sit there and pressure wash the bus, and it's not just the bus driver that does it. There's about 4 or 5 other bus drivers that actually tag it up, and they all get on that bus. And then when it's done, they sit there and they wash the windows and get it ready. And so it's not one individual person washing that bus. I think that would be very wise for us to have something like that here. I would like our buses to look sharp. The other side of the deal is too, I think it's a safety deal. Because I think the more visible they are with that yellow, the safer it's gonna be. The clearer that they can see out of the windows, the mirrors, the cleaner that bus is, I think the more safe it's gonna be. And then I think the kids, if they see a bus that looks nice like that, constantly washed and constantly clean, I think they're gonna take care of it more. I don't think we're gonna have near as much, stuff to do on the inside and stuff, because I think it'll encourage them to keep that bus clean and looking nice, because I think that's a positive all the way around, and I think it does good for the drivers, and the other thing is, now that these drivers will come on, they're gonna be on on our payroll, so to speak, so we could actually use some of that time, because they're gonna have to, so they can get the benefits, they have to reach a certain hours. We can actually use some of that time that they can sit there and do their buses, they can wash the windows, they can wash the bus off, they can do whatever. And the place that I wanna put it is where our shop is. And where we park the buses, there's an area there that, I've already had, General Hydronics come and look. The sewer line is probably about, it's going toward the football field where the buses drive through. So it's probably, the sewer line is probably about 50 feet away, 60 feet at the most. The water line they can pull off of our shop, it's all there. So they were gonna just make a drain in the middle. They're gonna build a metal building, like out of that 2x2 square tubing. They're gonna do a metal building. I asked them to see if they could price me a catwalk, and the reason I want the catwalk, I don't want anybody on a ladder.
Thank you.
So what I can do is they can sit there and pull that bus, cause it's gonna be 14 feet wide. They can actually walk on that catwalk and wash every window. They don't have to get up and down off the ladder. Once they're on that catwalk, they can sit there and wash all the windows on one side, wash all the windows on the other. Everything's under cover, so if it's hot or sun's out, they're kind of shaded and stuff, and I just think it's a wise thing to do.
We'll have it on the agenda at the next.
Discussion about NMSBA Board Institute Santa Fe.
Alright, what we had to do, we got the right motel this time in El Dorado. But since it's starting at 8 in the morning, I might have to get us a motel at a different location the first night, because nobody's gonna wanna leave here at 4 in the morning to get up there and start. So we're gonna go up the night before and stay at the Hilton, I believe. And
Yes.
then we'll check, which is right there, and then we'll check into the conference motel.
I tried to get it the day before, they were sold out the day before the conference. And, so I was like, well, what's close? So I chose one of their other motels that were offered for at least one night.
They'll probably kick us out of there anyway, but that works.
Yeah. Setting of the next regular session.
Yeah, Mr. President, members of the board, we're gonna be going to Santa Fe on February 12th to the NMSBA. I was gonna see if you guys would entertain the idea of doing our board meeting on the 11th. That usually be before we go.
I think I'm good with that. Yeah. Okay. Is there anyone else?
Is.
Good. Then we're gonna. Let's do adjourn. Naomi, all in favor?
Hi.
Alright.